Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gav Measure and this is WoWs Weekly. WoWs Weekly is the weekly news video covering World of Warships Legends, usually covering news in the week coming, week present, week past if necessary, along with speculations and always the usual channel admin. So first of all, I guess you could say it's been kind of a quiet week. I mean, obviously we have had the December update, so it's not a full-on patch, it's just an update really. And so we are on week 4 of the wisdom or something or other, but we're moving into what we're calling the Dragon's Breath update. And what this Dragon's Breath update is obviously is bringing Pan-Asian DDs as full release. There's no early access on this. So in the past 3 weeks we had the British carriers and now we've got the Pan-Asian DDs. So in total it's a lot of ships. I mean, if you chuck in the Russian cruisers also become fully researchable, you're looking at somewhere in the region of about, I want to say, 17 ships being researchable. That's quite a lot, really, to flood the market with, and it's probably one of the reasons why I necessarily haven't really got around to reviewing them all. Furthermore, also we have seen the full release of the Pan-Asia commanders. So obviously, if you start the tech tree, you'll get the generic commander, Ding Ruchang. If you remember, he was available in the commander crate if you chose the Lo Yang at the end of the element choice campaign. Now he's obviously free. But it's worth noting that when it came to the campaign rewards, the price of the commander crate was not included in the total amount of doubloons worth, I guess you could say. Also, 2 new Asian commanders have come to the game and they are both now accessible. You can either purchase them Commander XP, try your luck at crates, or just bide your time, I guess. Now, considering it's a quiet week, there was quite a bit of content in regards to this Dragon's Breath update. And so what that really means is, in the next 2 weeks, we can probably expect quite a wealth of forthcoming. So firstly, we've got Ranked Season 20, which is coming up December the 9th to the 13th. Probably starting and ending at 7 AM UTC. All we know so far on it is that it will be Tier 5 ships and aircraft carriers will be available. Now, at the moment, we haven't got any more information. More information regarding this season ranked will probably be forthcoming on December the 8th. So obviously keep an eye out on those World Warships social media. But I mean, personally, if it's still 5-a-side and still a DD cap of 1, and they include an aircraft carrier cap of 1, I don't exactly anticipate it being much fun for anyone. I mean, how fun ranked is already questionable at times, I guess you could say, with quite a few people saying they really just don't bother with it anymore, and I can't really blame them. But what can we kind of expect from the forthcoming tiers, tier 5, well, tier 5 season 20 of ranked? Well, obviously, first of all, carriers. Now, when it comes to carriers, there's obviously some choices. You've got Ranger, you've got Rugio, you've got Visor, you've got Furious, and you've also got that premium tier 5 that escapes me. But what's going to be probably the prime choice out of that? Well, it's if you look at previous seasons of Ranked, you can obviously see that they've capped destroyers to a number of 1, therefore the other 4 ships have had to be made up of cruisers and battleships. Now, generally, it's more battleships than cruisers, however, it doesn't mean that's always the case. But what this probably does mean is that the Visor will probably make a very interesting choice for an aircraft carrier because she's equipped with torpedoes and AP bombs and therefore allows her to continuously focus on those ships with big citadels. There's only 1 destroyer and so necessarily not going to be expected to kill it. Furthermore, that also probably means that the Rugio might be quite interesting with her high damage torpedoes, or both Japanese carriers will be quite interesting with their high damage torpedoes. Obviously, the premium carrier will be slightly more advantageous due to the improved concealment of the aircraft. I think Furious could be an interesting choice with those bombs and those torpedoes. I mean, if you've mastered those reticles, then those multiple bomb sticks that you're going to be dropping could be quite useful, especially against larger targets like battleships. But also, it does give you a tool in your toolkit against destroyers should you need to engage the destroyer. Obviously, with the Furious, you're better using bombs against destroyers rather than the torpedoes because the torpedoes are so slow. So that probably means that the Ranger may be the lesser pick because you've got kind of like average torpedoes. And although you do have quite good fire chats with your bombs, you don't drop many of them as in comparison to the British. So I think the Ranger might miss out or be the run to the litter, I think. Now, being tier 5, battleships would probably be again at the forte. Now, generally when it comes to battleships, I suspect the California will be making a resounding return with their AA complement. I mean, I can't really see people not using her. And also, if you have the King Kong commander from the Kong and Godzilla event, then that might make you very intriguing if you decide to go for a full AA build battleship. I've tried it myself a few times and it does work very nicely. Now, in regards to cruisers, there's a couple of ways this could go. When they did introduce carriers to clans recently on World of Warships PC, they saw an exuberant amount of smoke cruisers, and potentially we might see the same thing here. So initially, London, Exeter, Leander, potentially even the Trento could be quite interesting choices, because you can obviously stay concealed and shoot while your carrier does the spotting. Furthermore, I guess if you're going to be going for a cruiser, you might want to maybe consider things like anti-aircraft capability. So maybe the Dallas and the Pensacola could be intriguing choices. The Devonshire does have one of the strongest anti-aircraft complements at the tier, so potentially Devonshire might be a bit more intriguing to play if you're going for that anti-aircraft build. But generally, being a cruiser, I mean, if it's carriers and lots of battleships as a cruiser, you're pretty much going to be very squishy unless you're not seen. If you're not going to be seen, that's probably going to be in a smokescreen. When it comes to the destroyers, it's going to be very difficult. I mean, if they keep the cap at 1 per team, I found that incredibly unfair on the destroyer player. Furthermore, it's going to be a very hard life. The carrier is probably going to come at you with a vengeance if he has a genuine idea where you are and hope that his team can finish you off or kill you. So you're going to have to almost stay away from where the aircraft are working and stay away from the caps, ironically. Potentially, Japanese destroyers doing flanking assaults on the sides of the enemy team might make a bit more sense maybe this time, potentially, because you'd be avoiding the main route. Alternatively, the Mahan potentially does have one of the better AA complements of the tier, but as a destroyer, your AA complement is not really going to be doing much. So potentially the Icarus could be an interesting choice, because if you can't fight, then hide. And if you're going to hide, well, the British with their mini smoke screens that you can chain off very quickly between each other might be quite intriguing. But also maybe going back to the Mahan with her very large smoke screen, that should keep you hidden for a while, but you don't have any sonar. That's one of the benefits the Icarus has. But generally, the ship choices, I think, are going to be rather static and rather clear, potentially. So also forthcoming, we have the Strasbourg, the French Tier 6 premium battleship. Now, she's basically just going to be a Dunkirk-class ship, but she's going to have a main battery reload booster, which exactly isn't that exciting. I mean, Dunkirk at times can be pretty poor at Tier 5, because our nose can be overmatched by 15 and 16-inch guns, and by having the Dunkirk at Tier 6, as the Strasbourg, could also be quite penalising as well, because at Tier 6 you can engage Tier 7s more frequently, and at Tier 7, well, we also have more 16-inch guns, and we also have the occasional 18-inch gun straddling around. Also, we have the Japanese Tier 7 battleship Key forthcoming. We don't know exactly when. I should also caveat this Strasbourg, not sure when. But with the Key, she's obviously going to be coming available for 750,000 global XP. And if you remember the Key, she was a very low percentage drop rate in the Super Santa containers of 2020, I believe. So there's not many of them out there. Generally, people who do have them generally regard her quite poorly. She's basically a Margi with worse dispersion, worse armour, but with torpedoes, is the one explanation I've seen. It's worth noting that she has an absolutely horrendous vertical dispersion of 179 metres, so generally it can be a bit awkward. So if you do have 750,000 global XP, I'd be tempted to hold on to it. The reason being is I'm speculating here. I mean, I really am sticking my finger in the air. But we have the Minotaur forthcoming on December the 20th. Now, Wargaming have constantly reminded us that they can't tell us exactly how she will be arriving to the game. Whether she be coming to the Bureau, will she be coming for Global XP, or will she be coming for Steel? Now, considering that we've had the drop of the British carriers, the Pan Asian DDs, and the Key all happening all at once, it does very much look like they have made a very large Global XP sap in order to draw the spare Global XP lingering around out there. And once they've done that, they might then drop the minnow for 2 million Global XP, so you never know. So personally at the moment, I'd say if you can hold on to your Global XP if you are looking for the minnow until we have further confirmation regarding how the minnow will be introduced to the game. Now, also forthcoming, we do have 3 new Snowplanner camouflages for the Alaska, Lightning, and Gneisenhower. Now, these will be forthcoming in the store. Now, obviously, we don't have any details on that, but being that we are closing in on Christmas, they need to kind of get a move on. If I had to have a guess, I would probably suspect that Strasbourg and the snow camouflages will be forthcoming next week. Maybe the Key kind of forthcoming in the latter week of the December update, I guess you can say. Now also we have the Kong versus Godzilla collaboration and the Archipelago of Blue Steel collaboration. Now I suspect that each one of these will return for a single week only, and if I was Wargaming, I would probably release the Godzilla versus Kong collaboration next week, with the Archipelago of Blue Steel range coming available in the latter week of this patch. The reason being is if you drop the Godzilla vs Kong collaboration when you've got Season 20 of Ranked going on, you've got an anti-aircraft commander for the American battleships being made available when there's a season of Ranked with carriers on. Just trying to think of it from a marketing point of view almost. Now, there have been a couple of redeem codes. These have been shared by the Wargaming team on their social media accounts. However, if you have missed them, they will be down in the descriptions. The first one will get you an exclusive Black Templars and WAG patch, basically the Warhammer 40k content, so if that does interest you, down there it is. Furthermore, down there will be a Thanksgiving flag, a turkey flag. So if you are wanting to fly a turkey from the top of your ship, then feel free to do so. The redeem codes and the link to the redeemer will be down there in the description. So that's pretty much all the general news that seems to be kicking around this week. Obviously we do have the Dragon thingy-mabobby in the Bureau, and we've also got the Montana, which has made a return. Do have the Montana myself, but at the moment, like I kind of said last week, still not. I'm not saying I'm burnt out now, but generally I want to take it a bit easy. I mean, there's a lot of content out there at the moment, and I kind of feel like I need to take a little bit of a break from the hard-pressed amount of content that I've been producing as of late. So at the moment, I'm taking it easy, doing WoWs Weekly, going to be doing the live stream tomorrow, so I hope I can catch you guys there. Furthermore, I'll probably see if I can do at least a review a week, but at the moment, still taking it just a little easy, just almost playing quite casually and just checking up with people here, there, and everywhere. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this WoWs Weekly, and I hope you are staying safe and staying well. Down in the descriptions is all those redeem codes and links that I have mentioned, along with the link to Patreon and the email address to the channel if you want to send any of your own game captures. Until next time, I'm the Guy from Major, and back to the port.
Hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the galloping Major. Bumpity, 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 bump. Get out of the way there, you fellows, unless you want me to run you down. I guess this is the life. Now, hey, hey!